Okay guys, so PTTP is here in London. We're up at a bit of an old favourite here. We're up at Chadwell Heath. Now, there's been a lot of videos done here at Chadwell Heath, and there's been a lot of them that have been very negative. I haven't seen any done here for a while now. So I thought I'd come and check it out and see if that's because people haven't been uploading because they've come and been left alone, or whether people just haven't been coming.
You don't wanna fuck with me. A slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that.
So this is the beginning of the lot. This is all the personal vehicles and stuff by the looks of it. On this side of the lot, and then just a little bit further down we've got all the marked units, which is pretty cool. So you can see they've got all the dog units there with the boots left open to air out. And they've got all the big vans, like literally they've got a massive row of them. There's literally what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that I can see parked up on that side. And then down there you've got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I can see. So that's 15 vans parked up, not in use. Crazy. It's a lot of vans. Wow. So yeah, we've got all these up here. They've all got their different identifying information on the side of the van. And there's been many a people at these gates that have been stopped and accosted. I've had it here myself multiple times. So it was one time that I came here, but I was stopped on 2 different occasions, I think, if memory serves. There was one that happened just down on the corner there, and then I think I was stopped somewhere here as well. I can't remember which. It was a long time ago. I haven't watched that footage in a long time. But yeah, so there's another van there, a smaller one hidden next to it. There's a huge station. Lots of vehicles. This is like the main sort of point of response, I think, to this local area. The last time I came, one of the gates, this one that they're coming out of now, was broken, wasn't in operation. So they were all coming out of the other gate. It was like both in and out of that one. Now those vehicles are gone. Yeah. Somebody's there's an old motorbike helmet just left there. There's leaves in there. Looks like it's been there a while. It's a bit weird. Don't know if that's like maybe one that's been in a crash, or it's been dropped and somebody's just left it there. Who knows? They're not very good here at waiting for the gate to close. They just pull out and drive off. But you know, you can guarantee that they'll be the first to complain about security if somebody stood here filming. Let's see if this one waits. Yeah, so another one. Pulling out, he stopped because the vehicle's coming, but then just pulls away. Friendly wave from him though. It's good. I don't know where a good vantage point kind of out of the way is around here. I'm not going to hit any trees or be in somebody's driveway. What I might have to do is come over here and set up over here out the way, I think. I'm gonna have to lean stuff up against this fence, a bit out of the way. That's interesting. I got a critical services logistics van with 2 police motorbikes on it, so one's marked, one looks unmarked. That's good. But, got a police wreckage. Wow. 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 That one's been in a hell of a wreckage. Front end, that looks like it's rear-ended someone. Or it's gone head into something. Maybe a bollard, you see where it creaks there in the middle. So maybe it's hit like a bollard of some sort. Number plates come off the front there. But yeah, so apparently this is where they bring that. They bring it to Chadwell Heath. Crazy. Yeah, you can see they've it's got like a big hydraulic sort of, almost like a crane, so it lifts it, puts it down. So it's a hefty piece of kit, this one. It's actually a police piece of kit. They don't hire it out to a third-party contractor at all. It's actually a police vehicle. Alright guys, I think what I'm going to do is stop here, get the drone set up and get up in the air and see what we can see of Chadwell Heath from an aerial view. Oh! You need to look up the legislation.
Yes, I have.
What, within the 30 seconds that you've been here, you've looked that up?
Already.
Well, you clearly don't.
I clearly do.
Okay, before you take anything further, I suggest you look up the Civil Aviation Authority website and the small drone and then come back to
Yes,
me.
yeah, you don't need a license to run 250 grams, I'm aware of that.
Okay.
But it still means you're not allowed to fly it close to buildings or property.
Incorrect.
Or people.
Incorrect.
Okay. Filming out of interest. What is it you're filming out of interest?
Not answering questions, not here to answer your questions, I'm here to work.
What's your work then? What is your work? You told me that you're here to work. I'm going with 265 about that. They're on you or something. Yeah, so did I. So as you already said, you said, am I giving you a lawful order to land your drone? I said yes, so why are you not doing it?
What was it like I'm doing? Do you want me to land it anywhere or do you want me to land it safely?
No, but I know, but you have been flying it around, haven't you?
I'm trying to get it back
Yeah.
to a safe place to land.
Okay.
Right, away from this lady.
Appreciate it. I already know it's under 250 grams because I've got the same one.
Well, you should know the legislation then.
I do know the
You
legislation.
clearly
You're not-
don't.
Yeah, but you're not allowed. You're still not allowed to fly it near people.
Yes, you are.
You're
You're
not, it's a
not. You're
drone.
getting the legislation wrong.
Okay.
Okay.
Next question. Then.
Right. No. Before you, now you've
Right.
given me a lawful order to
Yeah.
land it. Can you tell me what piece of legislation you've given to give me that lawful order and what offence you suspect me of committing?
I have no idea.
No, now because you've already given the lawful order,
Right.
so you must already suspect the offence. So you should know.
You don't have to. You don't
You,
tell me
you've
now.
just given me a lawful order. Well, what you're claiming is a lawful order. You're now interrupting my freedom. Okay.
You're free. Well, why are you flying it over a police station?
You are now
anyway?
interrupting my freedom, so if you don't tell me what legislation you're using and what offence you suspect me of committing
Yeah,
and
then
why
what?
you told me to land the
Then
drone,
what?
no, don't look it up after the fact. You should already know. If you give me a lawful order, you should know why you've given me that lawful order, shouldn't you?
Okay.
So, otherwise I'm going to take it back up.
You told me to look it up, so I'm looking it up so I can actually
Well, yeah,
show
but if you give me a lawful order, you should already know why you've given me a lawful order. Otherwise it's not lawful, is it? No? Is it still a lawful order? Is it still a lawful order, Constable Bushell? Bushell?
Wherever you want to say it.
Okay. And Constable Samuel Smith, is that? Your badge is obscuring your name. You shouldn't. Maybe you should move that.
Is that a lawful order?
No, I'm just. I said maybe you should. I didn't say do it, did I?
Fine, I just wondered.
You know, obviously, you're meant to be readily identifiable for accountability.
You
and
just
obviously,
read my name,
if your name,
so-
I guessed their surname, like, but it's obscured, isn't it?
You got it right, so it must be clearly
that,
visible.
that was a guess. To me, I'm quite analytical. I can extrapolate.
That's cool. Listen. So, like I said, because I said to you anyway, didn't I? I said that you're not allowed to fly near people.
And you're wrong.
No, because you're not allowed to fly near
You're
50,
wrong.
within 50 metres of people.
And you're wrong.
Okay. So why are you saying I'm wrong?
Because you're wrong.
Okay, why are you saying I'm wrong?
It's not my job to educate you. You should know the legislation. If you're going to give me a lawful order to land my drone, you should know the legislation. You have this drone, you should know the legislation.
Yeah.
And you
So
clearly
you're not allowed to
don't.
fly within 50
Yes,
metres
you
of
are.
people.
That's for larger drones.
No, it's for any drones.
It's for drones over 250 grams. It's not fun because you're interrupting my freedom by giving me what you're calling a lawful order,
Okay.
and it's
With all due
unlawful.
respect, did I know what size that was before you landed it? Yes or no?
It doesn't matter unless you have reasonable suspicion that it's over 250 grams.
Okay, well, I did, didn't I?
No.
Because otherwise I wouldn't have told you to do it.
Well, I'm sorry, but you said you know it's under 250 grams because you've got the same
as
drone.
It was above your head.
Right.
She was
At which
on
point you could have said, all right, don't worry, keep it up there then. You could have rescinded your alleged lawful order. What reasonable suspicion did you have that it was over 250 grams?
It's flying in the air. Why would I not suspect you? You're flying it over a police station.
Yeah.
You've got to appreciate that's going to raise some sort of suspicion.
But why would you reasonably suspect that it's over 250 grams? Why is that your first thought? It has to be reasonable suspicion to give me that lawful order of an offence.
Yeah, I know.
So what's the reasonable part of this suspicion, other than I felt like telling you to bring it down because I wanted to talk to you? That's not reasonable suspicion.
Okay, but I also have no reasonable suspicion to say that it is 200.
Well, I mean, you stood here. I was stood here when you approached. You can see the case that says DJI Mini. If you actually use some observation skills, you would know.
So,
But unfortunately, you just want to go gung-ho.
I only told you to land the drone.
Yeah, which is interrupting my freedom right now.
Okay.
You're interrupting my time. You're wasting my time.
I'm not wasting it.
You are. You're burning daylight. I've got a job to do. I'm going to charge you this. I'm going to send it. Yeah, I'm going to send it in. Yeah.
For what, sorry?
For the time you're wasting.
I'm not wasting your time.
You absolutely are.
I'm definitely not. I'm not saying.
Unless you can tell
I've
me.
already told you can't fly within 50 metres of people.
But you're wrong.
Okay, so you're telling me you're wrong. Well, you tell me why I'm wrong then.
I've just told you, because it's under 250 grand, you're allowed to fly it.
That applies
Are you on the
full time.
CAA page?
Yes.
Right, go down to the small drone section.
I am on the small drone section that says do not fly closer than to people.
Is that under the small drone section? Let me have a look. Let's have a look. Small drones. If you're flying a drone, model class C0, you can fly closer to people than 50 metres and you can fly over them. Did you miss that part, did you, Constable? Or you just want to lie to me?
I'm not lying to you.
Well, you are, because you just said you read it and you just said that I can't fly.
It's on the floor, and I know that it's that way. Then we've got no issue, have we?
Well, that is because you needed reasonable suspicion to give me that lawful order.
I did.
That
because
no,
how
you
do I
didn't.
know- how do
As
I
I
know
said,
that
if
was
you
the
actually
right-
used some investigation skills, some observation, and saw the case that says DJI Mini, right, you would be able to ascertain that it's a small drone. You're interrupting my freedom and obstructing my human rights. Article 10, freedom of expression. You're interrupting.
I'm not interrupting.
You are, because you've just given me what you're alleging is a lawful order, and you're interrupting my time.
You're actually regulated airspace as well.
It's not actually.
Actually, our police station comes under London City Airport regulated airspace.
Where's that?
I think you're fine. So feel free to look yourself. But up until the junction of Primrose Avenue, this actually comes under City of London controlled zone airspace, which means that it's in effect from the surface and 2,500 feet.
That's not what my app said.
Well, unfortunately, maybe you should do
Where's
some
it
more
gone?
research, because my app
Where's
that
my app gone?
is done on. Look, at the end of the day, I don't want to have. I'm not here to have an argument. At the end of the day, I quite particularly, I was coming here to go home anyway. But I didn't see the case on the floor. At the end of the day, someone's flying a drone over a police station. You're going to appreciate that
Look.
someone might be suspicious of that. Okay.
So you see on my app,
Yeah.
it's not coming up with any flight restriction
Okay, what
zone.
app is
Okay,
that?
it's the DJI app.
Okay.
Alright, so it's the app that comes with the software with this. The nearest one is this yellow, which is a warning zone. But on this app, it's saying that I'm not in the flight restriction zone.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, look,
What app is that?
that is.
The Altitude Angel.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then the apps are different. Like,
Yeah. Fair enough. They are. But I can. I look at what I'm looking at. I'm not here to say that I'm taking your freedom away. Yes, I didn't see the box, but as it come down, I've seen it's the same one I've got.
right. So at that point, why did you not rescind your lawful order to land it?
Because
But you could have said, right, you can keep it up in the air now.
But it was already landing. You've obviously avoided the lady that was walking past.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't fly now, but now we've sorted it out and we've talked. Like you said, you didn't want to talk to me while you're flying a drone. That's responsible. Now it's landed. There's no issue, is there?
Well, there was, because like you've interrupted my time and my
But
footage.
did I know it was that way before it come down?
No, but you have to have reasonable suspicion of a crime before you give a lawful order to land a drone. You have to have the reasonable suspicion. You didn't have any reasonable suspicion. You may have thought, oh, it might be over 250, it might be under, but you have to have reasonable suspicion, articulable suspicion that it is over 250. Not that it might be, that it is. You have to have reasonable suspicion. You didn't have that, so your order at that time was unlawful. According to your app, and I won't take it back up.
Yeah,
But
appreciate
at that time when you gave me that lawful order, you didn't know that. You didn't know that it was or wasn't.
No, but I didn't say it was, did I?
No,
At
but,
that point, I didn't say it
again,
was.
you shouldn't say you're giving a lawful order if it's not a lawful order.
Well, it wasn't lawful because...
It wasn't a lawful order.
Yes,
We're
but
going to run around in circles
I
with
know we
this.
are, but I didn't know that was under it. Because I suspect that it was.
What made you suspect that it was? That's what I want to know.
Because
it has to be
I have
reasonable.
no evidence to suggest that it's not over 250.
That's not not reasonable suspicion.
But that is for me to decide.
No, that suspicion is not reasonable suspicion because you have to have objectionable ground to suspect that it is. If you had come and seen my case and it just said DJI and it didn't, listen, let me finish.
Yeah,
if you just came and saw my case and it said DJI and it didn't say DJI Mini, then yes, you could probably use that because it doesn't say Mini. You might think, oh, actually, maybe that's over the weight.
True.
But that would be reasonable suspicion because you would have a fact, some evidence to go on for you to give a lawful order because you would suspect I'm committing offence by flying a drone over 250, right? But you had no grounds other than the fact that I'm flying a drone.
Yeah.
But somebody flying a drone is not enough grounds to give a lawful order because it might be, it might not be the right way. That's not enough grounds just because I'm flying it. Okay, that's not enough grounds.
I'm charging you with an offence.
No, but you still interrupted my time, haven't you? And my right, you've interrupted my freedom of expression.
Yeah, I appreciate
and you've infringed on my right to do that for without a lawful basis.
Well, I have, because I suspected it was over that, because I had no evidence to say that it's
But you
not.
didn't have enough suspicion.
Yeah, but for me, it's me deciding that. That's not for you to decide. If we was going to court and I was saying I'm arresting you and charging you with an offence, then we might have an argument. But to me, I see someone flying a drone, I can't prove what way it is, so I'm not automatically going to go, oh yeah, that must be under 250 grams.
But then you could have waited for me to land it, you could have waited and then...
Yeah, but you said you wasn't going to until I gave you a lawful order.
Yeah, and well, eventually my battery's going to run out or I'm going to finish getting the footage that I was getting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you could have waited until that without using a false lawful order and then conducted your investigation. It was, because you didn't have enough suspicion.
Anyway, because like you said, you're going to go around in circles. We've had this little bit about what airspace we're in. I'm going to go with what I've got.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Even under that offence, I know the offence, the court would have to prove that I reasonably knew that I was flying in restricted airspace, but because my app clearly
But I'm not saying
shows...
I'm going to start taking you to court for it.
No, but again, like it wouldn't hold up anyway because I reasonably didn't believe I was, so like they would get thrown out anyway. It would be pointless.
I mean this in a really nice way. Have you considered joining them?
Absolutely not. No. Well, I don't want to join the most corrupt organisation in the
You
UK.
like your legislation, you're a very intelligent person, and the way you communicate it is respectful and it's quite friendly.
Yes, absolutely.
Like,
I'm not here to be aggressive with you, but I don't like having my rights infringed upon, and I will do it
You don't have to
politely.
tell me what you do, obviously.
Yeah.
Tell me you do something with a legal background.
No, I do psychology actually.
Psychology?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually doing a PhD in it at the moment. So, but yeah, no, law is just a side interest, and I am quite well versed on. Not every law, like you're not going to be every law, but laws that I need to know.
You appreciate we have various people who pay interest to PlayStations. Obviously, as my colleagues already said, it's always going to attract a certain amount of suspicion.
Okay.
There's always that side of it.
And I've got no problem with you guys coming in and interacting. None at all.
And I appreciate that. I'll ask you anyway, is there any particular reason that you fly over police station or this police station?
Because aerial footage is really cool.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
You know that. You fly a drone.
Yeah,
it looks really good.
I appreciate what you're saying.
But
Because I used to have one
people
before the legislation got changed and they started cracking down.
Yeah.
And the one I had was too big and I didn't want to go through the rigmarole of regulation.
Yeah. So you get a smaller one.
So I do see what you're saying, but obviously it is a sensitive side.
Right. And I've got I've got no problem with you coming and asking. What I have a problem with is when. Again, I think we're just going to have to agree to disagree on whether that was a lawful order, because I do not believe it was. And
understandably, you would feel that.
Yeah.
Because, and the same reason.
Yeah. I can't promise that I'm not going to put in a civil claim for it, and I'll see what my solicitors say about it, whether or not they agree that it was an infringement of my rights, because I genuinely don't believe that was a lawful order, and I don't think there was enough suspicion. Also, it's not you that's going to be personally done, it will be the MPS. The MPFS will fork out for it. It won't be you guys personally, which I think is wrong. I think you guys, because obviously you're not employees, you're each accountable for your own actions under your powers, but I think you should all be accountable personally when you misuse them as well. I don't think the MPS as a body should be paying out for these civil suits. I think it should be you personally liable because you're the one that's responsible for your powers.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough argument to have. I appreciate, I can see both sides of it.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. I think personally, in some situations, 100% you need to be personally accountable, particularly when it comes to things like use of force and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That criminal side.
But infringement of human rights as well is a big one as well.
Yeah, no,
and I do believe this to be an infringement of Article 10 for me at the moment, because I don't believe that lawful order, which is infringed on my right to freedom of expression.
But as I say, look, we've moved on from that.
Yeah.
Right, my colleagues already explained about the airspace and stuff like that. I'll be honest, I need to brush up on my legislation clearly with the Civil Aviation Act. I know the basics of what the drone code says and stuff like that. But with regards to the legislation that backs it up.
And that's good. Like if you're ever approaching somebody with a drone and you're not sure, do what he did and look it up on the phone. But do that before you start giving out orders that I can't be within 50 metres, because as we've seen, you were wrong on that.
Yeah.
Okay? And can you admit that you're wrong?
Yeah, but with this particular drone.
But I said it. I told you it was under 250 gram when we stood over there,
Yeah.
and you said you still can't be within 50 metres.
Yeah.
Okay, and so when we looked it up, yeah, okay,
Of course I do.
okay, and
Yeah.
absolutely. So all I want to ask is next time when you're approaching, whether it's a drone, whether it's anything, don't go telling people what is and isn't if you're not sure. Like I said to you, get it up on your phone, and while you were looking it up, you were still saying it is. You're in a position where what you're saying to somebody in your uniform can have a great effect on what they do in their actions, and can potentially persuade or dissuade them from doing a lawful activity. Okay, you need to be careful within the facts that you're telling people. You don't want to be done for lying, because you're not allowed to lie on your job to somebody that you're investigating. It goes against appealing principles and goes against your codes of conduct. That's not okay. You need to be sure in what you're saying. And there's nothing wrong. We don't expect you to have encyclopedic knowledge. We expect you, when you're not sure, to take a step away, call the right person and double check, look it up, whatever you need to do. But, telling me I can't fly within 50 metres when I know I can.
Yeah.
All right, the airspace, that's a bit iffy there, and I'll admit to that.
Yeah, that's
okay.
fair. Yeah.
But with the with the 50 metres.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
You said about the whole. I said it wasn't. I said it was under 250 grams.
Yeah.
Completely accept what you're saying. I've had people that I've stopped with white powder on them in little bags. And the first thing out of their mouth is, it's not cocaine. You see what I'm saying?
True.
Taking that word for it initially.
Yeah.
Hence why what my colleague's saying about the reasonable grounds. I know we've had that discussion. We don't need to revisit that.
But
I
then,
think this is very much going to be.
But then, like at that point, I think you're acting on past experience of other people and not taking the public at face value and automatically having a suspicion before you've even investigated.
Like you say, you've got to build those grounds, haven't you? You can't just walk into something. You have to be objective. You have to look at everything available to
Absolutely.
you. You have to make decisions based on that. Completely agree.
Yeah.
You're absolutely spot on. Hence why we have things like decision-making models and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So, but, as my colleague said, the point he gives that lawful order, it's a lawful order because he has that reasonable grounds to suspect.
Again, that's what we're going to disagree. So
This is where they disagree.
it
So
wasn't
completely,
reasonable enough.
I understand what you're saying. If you want to go and seek advice and stuff like that, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, I'll speak to 810K, 100%. Because at the end of the day, like, we're on a mission to
I'll ask
deal
the question.
with.
I know the answer. Do you want to provide any details to us?
You know the answer.
I know the answer.
You know the answer.
I have to ask the question.
Did they make you ask it?
No, it's something that I will probably be not criticised, but a question will be asked why I didn't ask. Because obviously, like I say, any police building is a sensitive site. I'm guessing this isn't your first rodeo. You understand how it works. You understand it's going to generate a lot of interest. It's something that we're always going to ask. So I'll ask the question. You'll decline. We've both played this game before. That's absolutely fine.
No worries.
All right.
But
I apologise for any confusion.
All right. I appreciate you. I appreciate that it's calmed down a lot and we've come to this. But I'm quite an amenable person. I just the way I'm approached will dictate what the response you get from me as well.
I don't come to work to have grief.
No.
I just come to work to do a job and go home. I appreciate it's a bit of a strange job. It's not a job that everyone does.
Yeah.
Same with what I do.
Consider it.
Yeah. No.
I
Never.
apologise for
Never.
any discrepancies about the weight. Yes, I know I've got one myself. Yes, I didn't see the box, but obviously I was talking to yourself rather than the box.
Yeah.
But
then, like while I was flying the drone, like while I'm taking it up and trying to get it back here, and we're stood back over here, and the box was there, you're taking 2 seconds to look. You know what I mean? Like you need to be more observant of the surroundings.
And you know what? I'll take that forward.
Yeah.
I know.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. What's the number? T2386. Appreciate it.
Like I said about the app, obviously double check because to save you getting in any bother that it is in airspace, then it's two different options, isn't it? Your one says yes, your one says it's fine, my one says it's not.
Yeah.
Unless we go to the Civil Aviation Authority to say,
Suggest
I
you
want
get
the
in touch
actual
with
map.
the CAA or City Airport.
Well, I'll contact DJI and say you need to update your app and make it better.
Because to be fair,
it is.
That's the one I got from getting that.
What the Altitude Angel?
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This one literally just comes with the software on the DJI app, but apparently.
No, that's fair enough.
But,
any other questions?
Before
you could have an amenable out.
Just before you go, your call number, I've got his. So 17453. And just one more thing before we go. is there any reason that neither of you told me that you turned on your body cameras throughout any of this conversation?
I appreciate that. I was going to tell you as I left.
Okay.
No, I didn't tell you at the time.
Okay.
I've just turned it on as we got out. But
Yeah.
obviously, you have been recorded the body worn video.
Okay.
I didn't get it out at the time because obviously, maybe I should have done, but we've obviously been dealing with you. Yes, I should have told you at the beginning.
Appreciate
I
that.
appreciate after the fact it's a bit difficult to say.
Yeah,
I was going to tell you
Yeah.
as a
I do normally wait until you're walking away and then call you back,
Yes.
but I realised you're parking the road, so once you start walking away, I just want to leave you to crack
Yeah.
on.
No, that's fair enough.
But
But
so
yes.
I'll take your word that you were going to tell me.
I
but-
appreciate that's very difficult, but
yeah, so yeah. But try to, because obviously if you're
you know
recording
what?
somebody and they don't know they're being recorded,
Yeah.
they might be more likely to say something that's incriminating
is.
and that without knowing that they're being recorded.
I
and
totally get that.
because what you say is hearsay, but what you've got on camera is evidence. So people need to know what they're saying. And
we do tell someone. but
Absolutely.
The amount of times you do it, it becomes such a
Yeah.
muscle memory to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes you're too busy focusing
Yeah,
on
yeah.
something else, and it does slip your mind.
Yeah.
I appreciate.
I'll be honest,
I do that quite a lot.
I am the first to totally agree with that man for all.
Yep.
The public need to know what they can and can't do, and
Yep.
they need to know what we can and can't do.
Exactly.
100%.
Literally.
Because that's how society keeps
Yeah,
working.
and I'll tell you what, that's the only reason that we do this. I mean, I'm not saying all of us are people out there that are more aggressive with it, but the reason I do it and a lot of us do it is because we want to make people aware of where your limits are, where our rights are, and where that boundary is.
But this
Because
is
not a lot of people don't
So I
understand
look
that.
at that, and obviously I appreciate I'm in the uniform. I'm still a human being. I'm
Of
still a
course.
member of society. I
Yeah.
might be wearing this uniform.
Yeah.
But I look at that and go, well, work with us.
Yeah.
Work with us. If you want to be part, we have independent advisory groups. We have education groups.
Mm-hmm.
We have opportunities for people who have that skill set to come in and discuss the experiences that you've had with officers like myself. I'm sure you've had previous experience with other colleagues, and you can discuss the good things, the bad things, and where that line is.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you might be.
What are they
listening
called?
to
Sorry,
this.
independent.
So we have independent advisory groups. Right?
Independent advisory
I know
groups.
there's most of them at the moment are on things like stop search community issues and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if there's anything specific to things like drone flying
Yeah.
or photography and,
Yeah.
and stuff like that around sensitive sites. But it's something to raise with us, by all means,
yeah.
because then we can
I mean,
take that step in the right
I've
direction
actually
together.
reached out to the Met, to the Commissioner, and asked him for an interview.
Okay.
That's with the Communications Office at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's something that hopefully he'll respond to. It was a very polite email,
It's that kind of-
and hopefully that will be a good platform, because ultimately we want to build bridges. There's a lot of reports coming out about the Met, police officers in the Met, and I'm not saying
I would say probably
Yeah.
at least almost 50% of people hate us.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
don't come to work to be hated.
No,
I just
no,
come to
exactly.
work 'cause
No,
it's
but
what I chose to
it's
do.
the bad ones giving the police a bad name, and you got like 600 cops that he says he doesn't want in the force. He's got 100 that he doesn't allow to contact with members of the public, and he can't do anything about it because the conduct places are already
I read
closed.
the
And he can't
article
reopen
Times
them.
The other day, it made for an interesting read.
Yeah.
And this is it. The fact that you can stand there as someone not in the uniform and
Yeah.
accept that those of us that want to do good
Yeah,
don't want those people in this job either.
yeah,
And this is what I mean, work with us then. Come and work with us.
Yeah.
Because you're the community. You are the face of the community that we need to be talking to
Yeah.
so we can reflect the community that we serve.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about.
And to be that, like,
Yeah.
the way I do it is that I'm happy to do this. I'm happy to have these bridge building conversations, and then this bridge building conversation will go online, and people will see that, and they'll see things. And things are starting to change with regards to, especially with the filming.
Yeah.
The drone is still a big issue.
It's still a bit of a hot topic,
Yeah,
isn't it? Because
yeah,
I know
and I
that
think
the
another year or
legislation
two,
takes
and we'll get to
relatively
where we're at with the photography. Because I know there's advice on general photography outside police stations now for you guys to pretty much just ignore us, which is fine. That's what we want ultimately, is to just be left alone. So that's good. And I'll tell you what, 9 times out of 10 in London, that's what I get now. But yeah, the drone is still a big issue. I got stopped twice outside Acton. Yes, I got stopped, spoke to them, dealt with it. Inspector came out, got it all dealt with. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I've been all over London yesterday and today. Yeah, I've been over. But yeah, I dealt with that, and then got there, and so I took the drone back up, and then literally like 10 minutes later, I got stopped again, and I'm like, but yeah. So the drone issues are something ongoing, but these videos, as much as some people are highly confrontational, you'll get what you give with me when we calm down, and you'll have a pleasant conversation.
But this is it. I mean, when we started, it was a very, very different circumstance, wasn't it? And we can have this conversation, and it's all about respect.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Let's
Yeah,
work
but people,
with each other and build those bridges.
Yeah, but people will see this. They'll know what the drone laws are.
Yeah.
This is going to be a hot topic in the comments about the lawful order thing. But The rest of
Let
it,
the
like
people
people,
sort
yeah,
that out, yeah.
like, but I know the police watch my channel, and like the police will see it, so other police officers learn from these
Exactly.
interactions
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. And this is
Because
it.
people say, oh, well, why don't you do something good? Why don't you do it on a wider scale? It's like, but people do see this. It does. A lot of them do reach a large audience. It's a way. It's not the only way, and I do admit there are other ways, and these independent advisory groups may be a way.
But this is it, something like that, because if there's a genuine need for it, I appreciate what you're saying, the lines between where...
I'll have a look if they've got anything like that where I
right
live.
to privacy, that right to freedom, and stuff like that, where that exact line is.
Yeah.
And that is a big conversation, it's a powerful conversation.
Absolutely.
And it's not one that the three of us are going to be able to have.
We're not going to be able to solve
here
it.
on Grove Road.
No.
Exactly. So, but it's a conversation that can definitely be had.
Yeah.
And I like to think, obviously I can't speak for those in the organisation that deal with that kind of thing, but I like to think they'd be very open to that conversation as well.
Yeah,
So,
good. Yeah, I'll have a look if there's anything like that around where I live and see if there's anything like it. But I don't know. We'll have a look.
Fantastic.
Right, anyway, guys, I'll let you crack on.
No, you're all good.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
Do that.
All right. Cheers.
All right. Have a good day.
Right,
Take
see you
care.
later. Oh, it's freezing out.
It's not that bad. I've been walking around all day though. It's true. So there we go, guys. Got a Chadwell Heath special there for you. Maybe I should have checked Altitude Angel and not necessarily relied on DJI app before flying. That's my bad. Won't make that mistake again. But I think because that constable isn't going to report me for flying in this airspace, I think I will leave the suit about the lawful order or not alone with that one, and keep it balanced and keep it fair on both sides. We did come to a much more reasonable conversation, and I'll leave it up to you guys to discuss in the comments whether or not you think that was a lawful order, whether or not the reasonable suspicion of a crime was present. And yeah, well, I'll leave it down to you guys to be the judge of that one. So I'm going to leave the camera running, but just in case. But yeah, for the time being, I'm going to wrap up. And until the next one, guys, as always, stay safe, remember your rights, and ta-ra. Okay, guys, so just I was just double checking Altitude Angel. So I thought I looked it up before I went. I didn't check it when I got there, but I was pretty sure I looked it up before I went. And the reason he was showing up as restricted, and where the red marker is because he had control zone on. If you turn control zone off, which I always have off, it's not in a restricted zone. So the importance of that, so I'm just going to let this ambulance go past because of noise. There we go. The importance of having the control zones switched off on your Altitude Angel if you're using a sub 250 gram is because the control zones do not apply to the C0 class drones. So that's why I don't have them switched on. There are certain types of airspace, so just if this constable sees that, you know, not to have a go or anything, but yeah, just double check the zones that you've got switched on for what sort of drone you're flying, because yeah, it was perfectly legal to fly it there, and I can't be asked to walk all the way back now and take it back up. I need to move on to the next one. But yeah, so yeah, Constable Bushell, if you do see this footage, then yeah, something for you to be aware of. There we go. Until the next one, guys. Ta-ra.
You don't wanna fuck with me. A slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can't